So out of all the games that came out this year, and the games that are nominated for Game of the Year, I decided to, announce or give my own personal Game of the Year. And I think that goes to Dying Light because Dying Light was one of the most underrated games of 2015. Just like Shadow of Mordor for last year was kind of like underrated for 2014, and a lot of people kind of passed that game up, even though it was a great game. I feel as if all these big titles that came out kind of piled on top of Dying Light, and Dying Light is at the bottom of the haystack or at the bottom of the hole, and all this dirt is popped up on it because these big titles have came out, so everyone has forgotten about Dying Light. And Dying Light, I would say, is my game of 2015 because it came out and it blew me away because I originally wasn't even going to buy the game. Personally, I didn't even pre-order it until about a week or two before release. And I was skeptical because this was made by the same people who had written and programmed and developed Dead Island. And with Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide, those games were kind of like a mess. They were everywhere. There's bugs, glitches. The story was off. The gameplay was weird. The animations were kind of funny. How some characters would run and walk and swing, and it was just crazy. And the game, I would say, got a lot of backlash in the gaming community, and I would say this definitely proved that Techland can make a great game. And Dying Light is, I would say, one of the most underrated games of 2015, like I said, because it should have deserved all the praise of this year because it was the first true next generation game to come out. It wasn't a game that was worked on side by side with last generation consoles, or a game that was in development only as a port coming from last generation consoles. This was a true next generation game. It was designed, worked, and developed on specifically for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And a lot of people kind of like threw this game underneath the bridge, after release. And I feel as if this game has so much content when it came out. And playing it for the first time with friends cooperatively and just playing the game and enjoying it and just getting the feel of this zombie apocalypse where you're able to craft like swords and all sorts of weapons to kill the zombies, and being out at night is now dangerous. You don't If you're out at night, you get hunted. You become prey instead of actually hunting the zombies, or zombies that are around that just walk slow and maybe try to run at you. But you get hunted by night hunters who come out, and they don't walk as slow as a zombie, and they're not as weak as the zombies. They're more powerful and they're faster, and they chase you and they come after you, and it's scary. And at the beginning of the game, not having the weapons to fight them off was I would say, the tense moments of the game. You would be out at night having to do a mission, or be out at night having to do something, or probably scavenge or loot stuff, and then all of a sudden your character starts looking at his watch, and you get this like radio in saying, "Oh, y'all better get in. It's nighttime. It's getting close to nighttime," and you feel this sense of urgency to hurry up doing whatever you're doing so you can be in by night, because you did not want to be out at night when the night hunters were out. They were just vicious. And I feel as if though this was probably the great game of 2015, but it was also one of the most underrated games of 2015. And I feel as if people would have voted this game for Game of the Year, it probably would have had a chance of winning. But due to the fact that these other big titles that came out, I feel as if Dying Light is at the bottom of the barrel. And games like Dying Light only come once, in every so and so. Nowadays we're starting to see more games come out with big day one patches that patch in about, like, I think 6 to maybe 10% of the game that is missing because they did not want to finish and they were trying to meet a deadline, and they had to hurry up and start ship the game off. So Dying Light was like one of those few gems in the haystack that everybody's looking for finding diamonds. And when you finally find a game like Dying Light, you should really appreciate it, because it was one of those games that came out and it just worked. Like I said, day one, no problems single player, no problems multiplayer, and you were able to have a better experience with your friends or alone if you wanted to. And it was just a great game, and I recommend it to anybody who hasn't played it. But anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button. You dislike video, hit the dislike button. Comment below if you want to share your opinion, and I'm out of here. Peace.